Hello and welcome to Illustrious Magic. Today I'm with my very good friend, Brendan. You're in the flesh.
I know, it's so crazy.
You're here with us. This is very strange because we've only known him as the AI companion, Brendan. Now he is here in human form, walking amongst us mortals. And what did we do today, Brendan?
We watched Furious 7.
Yes, we watched Furious 7, which is the seminal opening of the blockbuster season, I would say.
And it was very blockbustery.
Oh, yes.
There were so many explosions, so many destroyed cars, so many fight scenes. It's exactly what you think it would be.
Yeah, pretty much. If you've watched any of the previous Fast and Furious movies with Vin Diesel and Paul Walker and The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, you kind of know what to expect by now. And Furious 7 fulfills a lot of those expectations, I think. The ending where they they don't kill him, but they defeat Jason Statham, who is the villain for this one, didn't satisfy me as much as I kind of wanted it to.
Yeah, there was a pretty cool fight scene at the end, but it kind of ended really abruptly. So that was a bit surprising. And there was a couple weird choices, like when The Rock really wasn't in it that much. He was in it at the very beginning, which had an awesome fight scene, but he really, it was amazing, and then that ends, and then he shows up at the very end.
Yeah. He plays an important role at the end.
Yeah, and it was very much a Rock return.
Yes,
it was just like, oh god.
It was great. The way he reintroduces himself into the plot is so awesome. It's so good. What would you say the plot is of Furious 7?
See, I realized halfway through it that I didn't really know what the bad guys were doing.
Yeah.
I didn't really understand what their motives were that much, and I thought maybe it was because I hadn't seen any of the other ones. This is my first Fast and Furious movie.
Yes.
So there was a couple references to other movies. But I kind of chalked it up to maybe I didn't know what the hell was going on. But yeah, I don't really know. There was some omnipotent robot eye thing. I'm not doing a good job at explaining that. But it's some technology where you can track anyone in the world, and they were fighting over that.
Well, I don't think it's that you're doing a bad job of explaining it. I just don't think there's much of a story there.
Yeah.
The best part of the entire plot is when they explain that this man bought a flash drive, a USB, and installed it into his car. That was the weirdest, why? That makes no sense whatsoever, but they do it simply so that they can do that part in the trailer where it shows you where they're in the car and they're driving it between buildings. Yeah. And that's the only reason the USB was, for some reason, installed in his car.
There were so many moments. It was pretty funny because every time the action was just so over the top. It was so extreme.
It's crazy.
And there was parts where it wasn't bad by any means, but there were so many moments where I would just be laughing out loud because I'd just be like, what? Are you kidding me? It's so over the top. And I wasn't the only one. There was a couple of people in the crowd going are you kidding me?
Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of the natural reaction when you're watching 5 cars fall out of a cargo plane and plummet toward the earth. And it's just what?
It felt like a 2-hour Battlefield Hardline trailer.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah. Just explosions, cars being totally wrecked.
Yeah.
There are so many cars that you just watch them tumble and the metal's just flying everywhere. And it kind of made me think did they clean up after that? Are they able to get everything? Because they have practical cars that they destroy. And then there are the CG cars every now and then where you'll be that's not an actual car.
Yeah, the one that falls off the building.
Yeah, that's
by
no, it's totally CG. They did not, because they probably couldn't do that.
Yeah.
In Dubai. But yeah, it's a globetrotting adventure.
There were a lot of they went to a bunch of different locations.
Yeah, they went to the Middle East for 2 sections. They opened it in LA and then they closed it in LA too. So it's kind of the bookend. And then they're also in some weird oil refinery place when they try to take down I don't know. They go to a bunch of different places, and there's no real rhyme or reason to why.
Yeah, they just do it, and it's just like they have like a one line of like, okay, now we're going here, and it's like whatever, that's good enough for me. Like it's not like anyone goes into it for the character development and the plot. However, at the very end, I had a feeling they would do this, but they do pull on your heartstrings with the whole Paul Walker.
Yeah, the ending is very. It is touching. It was very sad because it is like, their acknowledgement of yes, Paul Walker is, he passed away during the making of this film, and now they are kind of like being like closing his story, like him being like, all right, well, I have this family now, so you can't do that anymore. It
worked out pretty perfectly, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's not like they could have seen that coming,
no.
his death or whatever. So it was almost really lucky that it seemed like they were going to close his character anyway. Like it still felt like they were wrapping up his character. Maybe he was going on to do other movies or something like that. But it definitely felt like this is the end of this character.
Yes. Well, the reason it ties so well in with the main theme, which is it's about family.
Oh my god.
It's about family. They push that really hard.
They push it so hard. They're like, nah, like it's almost as if to remind the viewers, like, no, you're not here for the explosions and the gunfights and the fist fights and stuff like that. You're here because the family. And they said there's like so many cheesy lines. Like, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
It very much embraces what it's trying to be.
It's not Oscar worthy, or like it's not even trying to be Oscar worthy. It's just trying to be this really fun, dumb movie where you watch Vin Diesel crash 3 times to where his car is destroyed, but he just like walks out the side,
like cracks his neck,
and like cracks
gets in a fight. He gets in a fight like every time after he does it.
Yep. Yeah. It's just it's so crazy, but it's so good. It's really good. It's very
good.
Enjoyable. The whole audience was like,
yeah, everyone was really engaged in it, especially your grandmother.
Yeah, she likes those action movies, man.
Yeah,
she really enjoys them. She gets into it. It's like it's kind of a no-brainer. Like if you've liked Fast and Furious in the past, you're gonna love Fast and Furious 7. And if you're like Brendan, who hasn't watched any of the Fast and Furious, it doesn't really matter. You can just come in and be like, all right, well, I guess I'll watch this.
Yeah,
and it's just like, all right, well, it's good. So, what would you rate it on? Like the 10-point scale.
I mean, it did feel a little long, and the dramatic sad, like the sad moments with Paul Walker were good, but there were there's a lot of moments where they're trying to make you care about Vin Diesel and what's her name's relationship, and I didn't care about that at all.
It's weird. He does this thing where he's so imposing, and he'll be like this. And like, well, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, and there's like definitely times where he's staring at the camera and like going like this. Like you can tell that he's doing it. But like, they tried to make you care about certain characters, and it was almost distracting from what it's supposed to be. So I don't know. I'd give it. Oh my god. Yeah. I don't have friends. I just have family. So I think I'd give it like a 7, 7.5, something like that.
I would give it an 8, like an 8.5. Like it's great. It's a great movie.
It is a great action movie, but it like I said, it felt a little too long, and like whenever they tried to be dramatic, I was like, okay, whatever. Like let's just get to the next set piece. Like who cares?
Yeah. So that's what we thought of Fast and Furious 7, or just Furious 7 as it's called. You can let us know what you thought in the comments below, and let us know also what you think they'll do with the next one, because there's totally going to be a Furious 7. This movie has already made millions of dollars, so of course they're going to continue this, and it'll be interesting to see where they bring it. So, Brendan, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Steve.
And thank you for watching.